Okay then, let's get into it.
Way so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Yo, what's going on, my friends? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I do hope you're doing well, mate, as always. I really do hope that, and welcome back to Chelsea News, of course, the daily series here on this channel, Football Therapy, where I reflect on what's been said about Chelsea, giving you my thoughts on it. More importantly, as always, asking for yours. In today's videos, it's broadly about strikers / forwards. Reports coming out of Brazil yesterday that Chelsea are looking to close a deal with for Brighton's João Pedro, which it divides opinion. Initially, a lot of people thought it was for the striker role. Since then, there's been a lot of speculation. Actually, no, Chelsea would look to buy João Pedro and a bit more of a dedicated centre forward. Though João Pedro would offer Enzo Maresca an option down the middle. We'll get into that. We'll look at his stats. We have done before, but we are going to look again. He's actually outperforming both his XG and expected assists this season. Is Osimhen off to Saudi? The reports continue as well. Chelsea still talking to Delap, so would Chelsea fans be happy with both João Pedro and Delap, as well as Nicholas Jackson and Mark Guew, who's apparently going to stick around? Add your Santos's and your Georgi Petrovic's and maybe a Mark Guehi, which we are going to speak about as well. And who knows, we might be prepared to deal with what's coming. Yes, Arsenal looking at Seshko more and more. Is Gyökeres available? We'll see what happens there. We're going to get into all of it today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, thank you so much for your continued support. We're over 193,000 now. So that road to 200,000 subscribers is very much there. And you can become a part of that if you want to. So do consider subscribing. All right, man, let's freaking do this then. Just quickly, further reports coming from out of Saudi Arabia that Victor Osimhen will join Al-Hilal and the deal will be closed soon. Translating a post here from a Arabic story. Have reached an agreement with the Nigerian international Victor Osimhen to represent the team for 3 seasons. Al-Hilal are heading to pay the penalty clause to his Italian club, Napoli. The final signing between the two parties is expected to take place in the coming days. Yeah, look, man, I don't want to spend too much time in this. I think Osimhen would be the perfect striker for Chelsea. He's got the sort of positive kind of arrogance we need, the ego, the ability, the profile, the clutch moments. He feels like quite a Chelsea striker. He apparently supported Chelsea growing up. He idolised Drogba. But if no one in Europe can pay his wage demands, and yes, you could say Chelsea have got a more stringent incentivised wage structure, but I think we were looking to break that. That's what the briefs were. But it's not like he's going somewhere else for 200k a week. I've had the feeling for a while he wants the money. Fair enough, it's his career, he can do what he wants, but stop getting your mate John Obi Mikel to say you want to play for Chelsea, you want to play for Chelsea. If you truly wanted to play for Chelsea, you'd come and get paid 200k a week, a mere £200,000 a week at Chelsea. But no one else in Europe's buying him. If he goes to South, I'm not saying I don't want him, I'd love him to come to Chelsea. But if he does want the bag, it's up to him, you know. He's still going to get called up to Nigeria and go make your money, mate. But I think it's a shame for a player of his profile to do that, essentially, man. Yeah, shame. So we're going to talk about alternatives in just a moment. But before we do speak about the João Pedro situation, and indeed Delap or whatever, I do want to show you this. This is on Football Insider. Chelsea accelerate Mark Guehi transfer plan after Crystal Palace latest. Chelsea will accelerate their efforts to sign Palace star Guehi if they qualify for the Champions League on the final day. Yes, so I think he would be a good value. He'll have 12 months left in his deal. He's mid-20s. He's the captain of a club who's just won a trophy. He's Chelsea. I would love Mark Guehi. I've been very firm on this. We need as much leadership as possible at the back. He's a leader. He plays really well in the Premier League. He's an important player for England. He wasn't called up for the England squad. Tuchel explained why. It's his concussion or an eye protocol thing. But he's of course, Marker. He would get called up. I think he'd offer a lot to Chelsea. Of course, Dean Howson would have been an amazing young talent. Very young, only just turned 20. Amazing footballer. But he doesn't necessarily bring that leadership, which we are so severely lacking as the youngest team in the Prem. He helps. I'd really, really like that. If this story develops more, of course, we'll pull up the stats like we are about to do in a moment on Joao Pedro. And I'll be very, very pleased with that signing personally. I'll be very interested to learn what you guys think. So please do let me know down in the comments section. Alright, so this divided opinion. I certainly got a lot of mixed opinions on a social media post I did. Joao Pedro also wanted by Liverpool, who are making serious moves. Frimpong, Kirkhez, Florian Wirtz. They are frightening, and I have been covering that on the second channel. I've been doing 2 or 3 videos a day on the second channel, reacted to Gary Neville being banned from the Forest game that we're playing in, and other stuff. So do check out Football Yannick, the non-Chelsea channel, if you want my thoughts on just football generally. So yes, this is a report that came out of Brazil. Of course, he is a Brazilian, Joao Pedro. He's a great player. I've always said that when talking here on the channel. When we were being linked to £100 million Evan Ferguson, who's been fallen into obscurity, I was like, why aren't we looking at Joao Pedro? And yes, he would cost a lot of money. Yes, he's Brighton. We don't need to be too scared of Brighton anymore because Cucurella and Caicedo have been huge successes. So it's not just Graham Potter and Rob Sanchez. We can get excellent superstars from them as well. So let's remind ourselves of that. And Joao Pedro, a lot of us sort of thought he would be the number 9. He does actually suit how Maresca plays to play in the number 9 role. But he played a lot as left winger, number 10, second striker, second pocket. And we are looking for a right-sided player who... a right-footed player who can play on the left, and he can play on the left. He can basically, in game states, he can start on the left if Jackson or a Liam Delap, or who knows, maybe even a Jokerej starting up top. And then if someone else comes on, he can go up top or vice versa. So he's tactically versatile, and he is a good player. So before you all start getting really ragey, I'm only reacting to the news, but he can do multiple positions. He's very, very versatile. But for the state of comparison, let's look at his understat compared to our striker Nico Jackson for this season. This is the Spider. Is it Spider chart? This I think it is. So Nico Jackson, the only 2 metrics he beats Joao Pedro in actually does him dirty, Jackson, because it's shots per 90 and XG per 90. Yeah, he's scoring less than Joao Pedro. So all this does with Nico is highlight how inefficient he is in front of goal. All the other metrics like assists per 90, expected assists for teammates, key passes, all these creative numbers are much better from Joao Pedro. He's got better goals per 90 so he outperforms his XG when Nico underperforms it significantly and takes more shots. So he takes less shots, and when he takes a shot, he scores way more often. So yes, efficient. Looking at his X value as well, we've looked at this before. Very, very strong Star Trek symbol on his performance chart, which is huge. And if you look here, left side heat map. He's not. Osimhen's heat map is like literally there. This is left. Very, very comfortable on the left. And I just want to say, guys, that if we're buying Joao Pedro to play instead of Jadon Sancho, and as a player unlike Jadon Sancho can start up top as well, would you be mad at that? Very, very strong polar chart here. His shooting, strong, XG strong, chance creation strong, progression strong. He's a good player. He's young as well. I think he's 22 years old. If we're buying him as a Mudryk/Sancho replacement, who can just help us up top as well. A bit like Pedro Neto from the right. Plays on the right, can do a job at striker. Pedro Neto plays on the left, can do a job at striker. I mean, obviously everyone's got their own desirable targets. Lots of people want Nico Williams. I think he's been poor lately, Nico Williams, and his wages will be absolutely insane. Again, it would be great to have him in a Chelsea shirt, but if we're being realistic and have a big boy conversation here, he's 23. He's not 22. He's 23, so he's still very young. As an option, as a left winger / up top, because his heat map is look at his heat map. It's stronger here. It's lighter here. This is like left winger, left forward. So if that's what he's being purchased for, as a guy can do a job up top as well, how do you feel about that? Yeah, let me know in the comments. Because Fabrizio Romano has spoken. He's confirmed yet again Liam Delap did speak to Everton. Everton are trying to buy a striker. Face-to-face talks took place this week as Chelsea and Man United remain keen. Of course, he costs 30 million. Striker options, yeah. If Osimhen goes to Saudi, if Seshko goes to Arsenal, because that story's heating up again, the sporting director wants Gyökeres, but Arteta wants Benjamin Seshko. If we lose out, Seshko looks pretty good, but it's not like losing out on Osimhen. But Osimhen's not going to Man United. He's potentially going to Saudi Arabia, so it's not like, oh, he's going over there, he was available, sort of thing. How would you feel if next season Chelsea had striker options of Liam Delap, Nicholas Jackson, Joao Pedro, and indeed Mark Guehi, because there were reports and briefs suggesting Mark Guehi is going to stay at Chelsea next season. Because suddenly, Chelsea of old did have 4 striker options at times, granted much bigger names. But that gives you an opportunity, if one is going off the boil, there is a lot of other talent there to step in and be like, suddenly it's not Jackson, like, no one's going to replace me because Nkunku's terrible in this position. And, Mark Guehi's just arrived. I can't be dropped. Suddenly it's like, there's loads of men who can play here. I need to be perfect. I'm not saying I don't want a superstar striker. If there's one available, if we can get Gyökeres, great. I mean, I felt more convinced about Osimhen as a Chelsea striker. I thought he was top of the tree personally as a Chelsea. It felt right for Chelsea. But in terms of like an elite proven goal scorer, it'd be very difficult not to get excited about Viktor Gyökeres. Fortunately, because Man United are in big troubles, they do not look very alluring at the moment. And they're in financial disarray. It kind of gives us the edge. It kind of gives us the edge for, I don't know, Delap or Viktor Gyökeres. Because surely Gyökeres doesn't want to go to Man United. No matter how much he loves Amorim, no matter how much of a big club Man United are. I mean, maybe he does. Maybe he somehow ends up there. But I find it very, very difficult to... I need to sneeze 1 second. Oh, I lost it. Nothing worse than losing a sneeze. I can't see Viktor Gyökeres wanting to go to Man United right now. But you don't know what players are thinking. I didn't think, Osimhen will go to Saudi Arabia, especially with comments he made while he was at Napoli, when he was linked to there. But it's not confirmed. It's just reports coming out of Saudi Arabia at the moment that he'll go to Al-Hilal. I like Joao Pedro as a player. I always have. If he joins us as this sort of left-sided starter and not like the guy up top, then I'd be quite into it. Looking at the landscape, if Seshko goes to Arsenal, if Osimhen goes to Saudi, lots of Chelsea fans would be like, get Viktor Gyökeres, and fine, I get it. But if for some reason he's unobtainable, then what are you sort of left with? I saw a bit of negative feedback on Ugo Ekitike, when I'd quite like him as well, but he'd cost a lot of money. So if it's in a, let's just say Joao Pedro isn't the centre forward target, what are you saying between Liam Delap and Ugo Ekitike? Do you know what I mean? There'll be also other more hipster shouts as well, but it'll be very interesting to see what people think about that situation. So, friends, please do leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. I'll be very keen to learn them. As always, thanks for your support. Over 193,000 subs now, so very, very humbled in terms of the support, as always, so thankful for that. Hope to see you back here soon. Enjoy the football. We'll, of course, react to the big one tomorrow. I've done a preview yesterday at the end of the news video. I am terrified of Forest. I don't know what else to say. It's a huge game. I'm terrified about it. Go watch my preview. And, yeah, man. Take care. Peace.